It would cost billions and take hundreds, if not thousands of years to accomplish. But transforming Mars from a barren rock into a living world is not as far-fetched as it may seem. And our long-term survival could depend on it.
That is a clip from tonight's National Geographic Channel Expedition Week program, Mars Making the New Earth. Turning the red planet green has become the subject of serious scientific investigation, believe it or not. Our next guest has spent years studying extreme environments to understand what it would take. Joining us now on the phone all the way from Antarctica is Chris McKay, NASA Ames Research Center planetary scientist. Why Antarctica, first of all, Chris?
Well, because here we find cold, dry conditions that are, from a biological point of view, the best analog to Mars.
So the idea is you would study what might be able to grow in places like Antarctica with the idea that one day you introduce that kind of thing to Mars?
Yeah, we might be looking at organisms here that could be the first native plants, if you will, the first native organisms. They also are interesting in that they may be an example of how life survived on Mars toward the end of its habitable period. So they're both looking back in Mars history, biological history, and looking forward to Mars's biological future.
But just on this planet, we've seen what happens when you get, species in the wrong places introduced. Zebra mussels in the Great Lakes, for instance. Wouldn't it be potentially very dangerous to take a bunch of Earth life forms and plant them on Mars?
If there's Martian life, that's a very important concern, and we need to resolve the question of Martian life first. If there's Martian life, then I would argue that we don't introduce life from Earth. Instead, we enhance the life that's there. But if there's no life there, if it really is an empty or dead landscape, then I think we should introduce life from Earth.
What do we get out of it?
Well, we get two things out of it. One is we get the knowledge that comes with trying to build a biosphere. Arguably, our most important job as a species is to manage our biosphere. With Earth, failure is not an option. And so we've got to learn how to manage the biosphere on Earth, and building another one, building something, is a way to understand it. Another thing we get out of it is just the contribution to the enhancement of life in the universe, spreading life beyond the Earth. Life, in a sense, may be the gift that Earth has to give.
What's the temperature in Antarctica right now?
Well, right now we're about 10 degrees below freezing, so it's a nice, warm, sunny summer day.
It sounds like it. Chris McKay with the Ames Research Center from NASA. More on the National Geographic Channel. You can tune in for that Mars story tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, part of Expedition Week on Nat Geo.
It sounds like Chicago in the middle of January.
Oh, yeah.